Getting a dog is not the same as buying another pair of shoes. A dog is a full member of the family and requires almost as much attention as a child. You will have to teach them the basics of behaving at home and in the community, sharpening skills, take care of them daily, control health, and much more. Our video will help you understand how ready you are for all of these challenges. Number 1. Active lifestyle. You'll become more active. Studies show that people who have a dog and walk with it regularly are more physically active than those who don't have a pet or rarely walk. That sounds logical, but there are probably few people who suspect that walks like this will help them achieve their weekly physical activity rate. For example, a person who walks their dog 3 times a week on average spends about 25 minutes on one walk. The World Health Organization recommends that adults perform any aerobic activity, this includes walking, for at least 75 minutes per week. Add outdoor and at-home games with your dog to this and you get a good fitness workout. Number 2. Healthy lifestyle. You'll get healthier. If you're more active, you're going to be healthier. Of course, if you follow a healthy lifestyle and nutritional diet, with these, you're most likely to decrease blood pressure, cholesterol, and a type of fats in the blood called triglycerides. Consequently, all of this will help prevent vascular and heart disease. Number 3. Medical treatment. You'll spend less money on doctors. Australia, the US, and China have calculated how often pet owners see a doctor. It turned out the number is much less compared to those who live without a dog or cat. For example, in Australia, owners of pets went to the doctor 15% less frequently. In the US, 19%. According to that survey, Chinese women who had a dog told about significant improvements in fitness, sleep, and overall health. Number 4. Life expectancy. Life expectancy can increase. In 2001, Swedish scientists began to monitor the health of nearly 3.4 million residents of Sweden between the ages of 40 and 80 who had no heart problems and determined who of them owned a dog. In Sweden, this was easy to determine since everyone who gets a dog is put on a social register. Every visit to the hospital is also recorded in the national database. The study continued for 12 years, and the results were published in 2017. They found that people who had a dog lived longer. For example, single people who lived with a dog were 33% less likely to die than people who lived alone and without a dog. It's not clear how the dog affects its owner's life expectancy. Scientists believe that a pet helps a person become more active, or the owner feels responsible for the animal and wants to take care of it as long as possible. Number 5. Emotional health. Emotional health will improve. According to the British Mental Health Foundation, playing and walking with pets, especially dogs, helps relieve stress and relax. In the case of depression, taking care of your pet may be the only reason to get out of bed and into the street. That's how a purpose is formed, so a person can feel valued and important. Specially trained dogs can also become part of the therapy and help cope with depression, anxiety, bipolar disorder, and other mental illnesses. Specialists teach animals to recognize signs of panic attacks in humans before they occur, bring medicine and water, bring others to help, and calm people down. For example, by licking their faces, thus distracting them from problems. A dog can also be a great companion to get rid of the feeling of loneliness. Number 6. Safety. With a 4-legged friend, you'll feel safer. A big dog, if properly trained, will protect you from a criminal. If you want the animal to protect you and your home, choose the right breed. German Shepherd, Mastiff, Doberman, Akita Inu, German Boxer, Pit Bull, and others are very suitable for this purpose. On the other hand, the little ones will always warn you that someone is trying to get into the house. Number 7. Children. Children will have less risk of asthma. Having a dog in the first year of a child's life reduces the risk of asthma by 13%. This conclusion was reached by scientists from Stockholm who checked the data of more than 376,600 preschoolers and more than 276,200 school children. The researchers were unable to determine why children living with dogs are less likely to develop asthma, but suggest that a lack of contact with microbes and bacteria in childhood may lead to further allergy. Therefore, interaction with animals improves the immune system. Minuses. Number 1. Expenses. Having a dog as a pet significantly increases your expenses. The benefits of a dog cannot be measured in any money. However, the fact that you must invest in your pet is still there. For example, vaccinations, the purchase of expensive, balanced food and vitamins, and scheduled sterilization are all costs. As a result, many owners who have made a thoughtless decision to bring their dog into their home will stop taking care of their health after a while. Possible infection. You could get a zoonotic infection. This is the name given to infectious diseases transmitted from an animal, including dogs, to humans. Even though your dog is spreading the illness, he may look healthy and alert. Zoonotic infections, zoonoses, can be caused by viruses, bacteria, parasites, and fungus. Zoonosis includes tuberculosis, listeriosis, hepatitis E, Lyme disease, and others. In particular, dogs can become infected with rabies, diphtheria, and rare diseases such as pasteurellosis, echinococcus, and tococeriosis. Anyone can get this infection, but there are 3 categories of people at risk: under 5, over 65, and those with reduced immunity. One of the primary prevention methods is hand washing. Possible falls. You could get hurt. According to the Center of Disease Control and Prevention in the United States, more than 86,000 falls during the year are caused by pets, and dogs cause 88% of them. This aspect can be especially dangerous for pregnant women and the elderly. A big dog can even drop a person by jumping on him. Adjusting a schedule. You'll need to adjust your schedule to the dog. Leaving early in the morning and coming back at midnight is a bad idea if you have a pet. Some experts think it's best not to leave your dog alone for longer than 8 to 10 hours. As well as being fed and walked by someone, these pets can't stand loneliness. Researchers say the first minutes after owners leave home are the hardest for their companions. How your dog spends the next few hours before you return depends on their character. Anxious pets can walk back and forth for hours until they see a familiar face. With this addition to your family, you will need to update your schedule so that you can spend time and walk with them at least once a day. Leaving. Unexpectedly leaving on vacation also represents an unlikely scenario. You need to find a temporary shelter to leave your dog. You have to think in advance, since it's recommended to arrange several meetings beforehand so that the dog and your family can get to know each other. All of this requires extra time, energy, or money that are not always on hand. The decision to take your dog with you on a journey can be even more complicated. If you fly abroad, you will need to get a proper vaccination, collect the necessary veterinary documents, buy a special carrier, pay extra for your seat on the plane, go through veterinary control at the airport, and choose a hotel or apartment where they will not mind pets. All of these are stressful for both the owner and the dog. Responsibility. You will be responsible for your dog in front of others. Surely, some people think their dog is the sweetest and kindest creature in the world, so they allow them to walk without a muzzle or leash. But man cannot control their behavior 100%, which means there is a possibility of a dog biting a passerby. In this case, words and apologies will not help. The victim will have to be vaccinated, and you will be obligated to pay for its costs. Besides, the victim has the right to sue you. If you have listened to all these points and have not discovered anything new and frightening, if you have already heard about these difficulties and still can't wait to dive into them, we can only be happy for you. What else is there to consider before getting a pet? Answer in a comments section. Make sure to share with us what are, in your opinion, the most rewarding or challenging parts of having these animals. Thanks for watching.